Well, there's nothing rough about living here at Vancouver, Canada's aquarium, Aurora's home.
There we go, hand in hand. Aurora, are you going to be a good mother like you were the first time? Yeah. Aurora the beluga whale is 15 years old and she's only a few weeks, about 4 weeks away from giving birth. Aurora holds a very special place in my heart because when I started working here, she was the first beluga whale that I worked with, and over the time that I've been here, I've developed a very special bond with her. She's a lovely animal and very dynamic. You're a sweetheart, aren't you? Yeah. Yes, you are. That's very super. Very super. She is the boss as far as the beluga whale exhibit goes. She is not the oldest. Sometimes the oldest females will be the most dominant, but Aurora has had a calf in 1995, and this puts her up above everybody else. So basically, she is the most important according to the other beluga whales because she has had that calf. Open that big mouth up. Open it up. Oh, there you go. The language, the communication that's built up between myself and Aurora is all based on hand signals and full body signals. So all of the behaviors that she's trained to do are associated with a particular hand signal or body signal, and she responds to those things. She will do dolphin leaps. She's trained to do a beluga whale headstand. They have very small tail movements. The tail end of a whale. Aurora knows how to do a lot of different things. Whenever I go out to work with her, I make sure that I have positive body language. I want to make sure that I feel good when I go out there to work with her, and of course she feeds off of that. There she goes. She loves rubbing her flukes on it too. We often put different objects into the water so the belugas can play with them. Aurora's favorite thing is definitely the sling. We also have what we call an iceberg, which is a big, thick, white plastic cutout that looks like a piece of floating ice if you use your imagination. And Aurora will often push that particular object around. Something that Aurora really enjoys is the water work training. We will get right in the water with her and lie next to her, and Aurora really responds well to this. You're so close to the animal, you're working in their plane, and I think that she really enjoys that. Basically, you become a beluga whale yourself floating in the water next to her. And if you do those positive things that they like, they learn to associate all the positive stuff with you, and that's a great way to develop that relationship. There's have to be in order to scoop it out. Right now we do about 5 beluga shows a day, and they're anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes long. It's about a month away until the birth, so we are prepared now to allow Aurora's focus to wander a little bit from the shows. She is definitely out there for the shows, but it's not critical that she performs all of the behaviors. Oh, we'll be happy to see your baby when it comes out. The Encounter program is something that is very unique and really special. It allows public to come in and get an insight on the sort of training of the beluga whales. So Aurora has to be comfortable with us touching all parts of her body. Aurora is definitely very accepting of new people. She's not hesitant as long as her trainer is with her. So as long as I'm there beside her, she is completely comfortable. The participants in the encounter are given certain hand signals prior to coming to work with the animals. They learn usually the vocalization hand signals. We always give them the bob spit hand signal, which is the signal for the beluga whales to come up out of the water and spit on you, which is definitely something people are very interested in. 1, 2, 3! Hi, Aurora. There we go. Nice little pet wave. Aurora, are you going to be a good mother like you were the first time? Yeah, you will be, won't you? We don't worry. Good girl. Is your calf going to be naughty? No? Are you sure about that? No? Oh, you're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. Aurora is getting extra special treatment while she's pregnant, especially during this time when it's coming so close. We're making sure that she's getting all the food she needs to be a healthy mother. Basically, right now, our concern is that she's eating right up until right before the birth. Pull out some vitamins for Aurora. 4, 6, 7 vitamins. These vitamins I stuff right inside of the gill slit of the fish. So by putting them inside their fish, they don't know that they're getting something that's obviously very good for them. And so this way we can make sure it won't deter the animals from eating their food. There's some fish for you. Aurora gets 11 kilograms of herring a day. Before her first feed, she gets 1.5 kilograms. I'm glad you're here right now. That's a good girl. You're a good girl, aren't you? Yeah. Beluga whales are called the canaries of the sea because they are very social, very communicative, and they do make a huge variety of sounds.
The Vancouver Aquarium has a long tradition of doing basic research on the vocalizations of marine mammals, killer whales and belugas. Belugas are quite moody animals, and those emotions are transmitted by a sound. We're anticipating the birth of this little beluga calf in a couple of weeks, and so we have the beluga tanks here wired for sound, and as soon as the calf is born, we'll record through the birth process and be following the development of the calf so that we get a good history of the calf's development. We know that by the time they're adults, they have a very complicated repertoire of sounds. We don't know much about how a beluga calf starts off.
We are going to do an ultrasound on Aurora to have a look at the positioning of the calf. And Aurora's probably somewhere between a few weeks to a month away, so it'll be interesting to see where the calf is sitting. A little closer.
You just tell me when you're ready.
And that's good, Dr. Huff. You can go right ahead with the probe. Good girl, Aurora.
I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Okay. She's okay in this position?
Yeah, that's good. This is really lucky. See the blowhole in the head right off the bat.
You're kidding.
So there's no question. You're gonna be mom.
You've got a baby.
You're gonna be a mom.
Really?
You got the head, you got the blowhole. It's really pretty obvious, and it's only a couple of weeks away. That's just excellent. Nice positioning.
That's your baby.
It's a lot easier when the calf is a lot bigger. That's just wonderful. What we did was our final ultrasound. We figured we're about 2 to 4 weeks away from the birth. And what we wanted to make sure is that everything is still okay, specifically that the positioning is all right.
When the ultrasound came through with an image of the calf growing inside, that was when it was the big breath, the tingling feeling all over your body that you know that this is happening and that you're going to be a part of something so special. We are keeping a close eye on her, making sure we take note of any new behaviors. We're even starting to see some contractions with Aurora, so she's sort of moving her body into a sea-like position while she's in the water, and we're definitely keeping a close eye on that. We have heard there's discharge from Aurora, and right now we're just watching for the rest of the birth to happen. We're watching Aurora's labor. We want to monitor everything that's going on. Look, there's a flu.
I can barely see it. Where is it?
It's just, wait, can you see it right there?
I can see it.
It's so gray. I definitely am nervous and a little bit worried about Aurora and about the birth because there are so many things to consider here. I really hope that everything goes very well.
Lisa, get over here. We have to get in.
We'll be ready to line the exhibit so when the birth happens, we can protect the calf from running into anything on the ledges.
Be careful, Lisa, it's slippery.
You can do it. Push, Aurora. Just having another contraction.
Can you see from that side?
Yeah, you can see most of the body. Aurora did something a little unexpected. She moved from one part of the exhibit to another in a tight area of the exhibit. She decided to go there to give birth. Ellie's coming over there, put the paddle on the wall. Kelty, is he all right there? We've had big foam paddles made up for certain parts of the habitat that we can't reach with our arms to make sure that when he comes up, or when the calf comes up to take a breath of air, he doesn't run into anything. Let me get some more. Can you see him? Whoa, look at that! Woo!
Come on out.
She's breathing all right? You can see her blowhole?
Yeah, she looks good.
I'm worried that she's not going to be breathing okay.
Go back. Can you see?
It's out, it's up, it's had its first breath of air and it's moving around really awkwardly, but it's at the surface. Aurora is following, we're all watching, making sure it doesn't run into the edges, and Aurora is doing a good job following the baby around and even bumping it up onto her side to make sure it gets a fresh breath of air each time it comes to the surface. Watch out for him, Kelty, he's coming over here. Move over towards the wall. It looks like we have a baby boy and he's swimming around very well beside his mother. He looks to be very healthy and he's swimming around, breathing very rapidly, which is supposedly very normal. So we are monitoring his respirations, his breathing rate, as well as his mother's, just to make sure that they're both very healthy animals. I feel amazing. I have pins and needles all over my body. This has been the most incredible experience of my life. I've never felt a baby beluga whale right in seconds after it was born. It's the softest thing you can imagine. We had absolutely no complications. It was a 4-hour labor and she was an angel through the whole thing. Oh, what's that? It's called a boom. Tuvaq is an Inuit word that means sea ice, and of course, it's very appropriate because sea ice is a major part of the Arctic environment. Right now, he doesn't look like sea ice because he's a dark gray, but as he gets whiter and whiter, I'm sure he'll look a little bit more like that. Tuvaq really likes tongue rubs. He seems to simply enjoy the sensation of that pressure of the rubbing on his tongue. They like water splashed in their mouth, or they will open their mouth up so that you can stick your hand in. He's like a little kid. He has a pretty short attention span, and he likes the playful stuff. So he's a lover, though. I am brushing the ground right now, and Tuvaq finds it very interesting to watch the brush. You can see by his body language that he's having a good time, sort of squirming around. They all really like this beach area, and you can watch him just follow the brush around. So this is just a little bit of playtime. It's one way that we clean, but also the animals seem to like watching what's going on. Tuvaq's training is going pretty slowly, as one would expect. We're looking for Tuvaq to recognize the trainer, to come to a certain part of the exhibit, which he does, and we're looking for him to be comfortable right now. We're training him or letting him desensitize to our touch. Tuvaq gets a little rambunctious sometimes on the beach. Aurora is a very watchful mother. She knows exactly what's going on with Tuvaq at all times. You can see her nursing Tuvaq through all hours of the day. But we know that at this time in a beluga's life, it's important for them to start having some solid food. So that's a big part of his training right now. Aurora communicates with Tuvaq through vocalizations and through body signals, the same way that all of the animals, all of the beluga whales communicate with one another. But of course, there's a very close bond between those two. Tuvaq is very in tune with his mother's sound.
That was a recording of Aurora, the mother, vocalizing, and Tuvaq calling right back to her afterwards. This sound is a kind of a bonding sound. It's typical of the sort of sounds that almost all birds and mammals make when a parent and an offspring are bonding.
Aurora and Tuvaq are most often very close to one another. You can see them swimming side by side. Tuvaq is right next to her. She also makes sure that Tuvaq is never on her outside. When Aurora is swimming around the exhibit, Tuvaq is always on the inside of the exhibit to her. So she makes sure that this is the way it goes so that Tuvaq doesn't run into anything if he's not paying attention to what he's doing. For the time being, Tuvaq is staying with his mom. There's no need to make any changes. Everything is perfect as it is.
Hey, bud.
Get out of the way, buddy. My bond with Aurora is so special because I've traveled this time with her. I've seen her as a whale who isn't pregnant and who's gone through 14 to 16 months of gestation, of having this calf grow inside her, and have had that connection with Aurora the entire time. So for me, it's like I'm the foster mother, or I have these emotions about the calf and about the birth that I'm really excited about.
Well, that's a wrap. I'm Lisa Canning, this is Madison, and thank you for watching That's My Baby.